Hi, Aries. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for March of 2021. Well, your birthday is coming up fast, Aries, if that's your sun sign. And even if it's just your rising sign, there's still going to be that feeling of rebirth and newness when the sun moves into Aries later this month. And the very best way to get ready for your birthday year to come is to get a solar return reading, especially if you can manage to get one in the month before your birthday. You'll find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Saturn, you know what? Let me show you the chart. Yes, Saturn, which is right here in Aquarius, has been busily traveling along the sign of Aquarius since the beginning of the year. And it loves to be in Aquarius. So there's lots of great Saturn energy in the air, you might say. And the place where Saturn falls in your chart is going to be a place where you must discipline yourself, where you must bring structure, where you'll find that you're being tested. And in your case, if Aries is rising, most likely that's going to be the 11th house, or with Placidus houses, it might be the 10th house. So the 11th house being the house of friends, this year it's possible you are facing discipline and structure in your friendships. Your friends may be checking you in some way. And it's really good to respond to that in a good way. If Saturn is in your 10th house, then you're really facing some challenges at work. And this whole year is a really good time to step up to the plate and hit that home run, because it matters now more than usual. So you can find out more about Saturn in Aquarius and how it might affect your chart in our 2021 news playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. But for now, we're going to talk about some other things, particularly Mercury, Venus, and Mars, which Julia will cover, and then I will tell you some things about the moon and the season. Hey, Julia, what's up with those inner planets for Aries this month?
All right, Jamie. So, hey, Aries, I'll start with Mars. And Mars starts the month in the sign of Taurus, which is your second house, but it's going to jump into Gemini on the 3rd of the month, which is your third house, the house of communication. So if you want to hear about how Mars affects you in your second house for the first 2 days of the month, I'll refer you to our last month's videos where we really cover that in a lot more depth. But basically, for the majority of the month, Mars is going to be in your third house. And this is the house of siblings. It's also the house of communication. So if you have any brothers or sisters, this might be a little bit of a frustrating time with them. Mars is a conflict-prone transit, so you guys might be butting heads a lot more than usual. And since the third house also rules communication, you might be a lot sharper with your words than you usually are too. So be prepared to have a very good apology on hand if you say the wrong thing at the wrong time, because, you know, it's an Aries thing too. But just kind of be aware, and that's half the battle. Then Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, is still recovering from its recent retrograde period. I mean, the retrograde cycle is pretty much over, but you're still reverberating from it slightly. And it starts the month in your 11th house. And this is the house of friends. This is the house of networks. So it's really going to be a time where you're going to be communicating a lot within your friendship circles or within the groups that you're a part of in your life. Then on March 6th, Mercury is going to go back up to its regular speed, and that should start sorting things out pretty quickly. And then Mercury is going to move into Pisces on March 15th, which is your 12th house. And as Mercury is in the 12th house for the second half of the month, you know, the 12th house is a very isolated place. It's also a place of the subconscious, and Mercury is how we receive our information. So you could be getting your information from some pretty subconscious places during this cycle, whether that's through dream states, whether that's through meditation, or other types of things like that. Then Venus starts the month, sorry, my little puppy's going crazy. Venus starts the month in Pisces, which is your 12th house. Again, the house of isolation, the house of the subconscious. And she's going to be in here for most of the month. So this is going to be a cycle where you're probably not going to be as social as you usually are, because this is the house of isolation. And, you know, the 12th house also can represent, you know, wherever we find find pleasure. So you might be enjoying really spending a lot more time on your own than with other people. Then on the 21st, Venus is going to move into your first house of self, which means that you're really going to be embodying those Venus vibes. So you'll be a lot more social at that point. You also might want to do things to beautify your appearance too, which is ruled by the first house as well.
So sweet. Okay, couple more things. We've got some moons to look at. The first of this month's moons is on the 13th, and it is a new moon in Pisces, which we are calling dreams of partnership because it involves a lot of planets in Pisces. And so there's a big dreaming theme, but also there's a strong Juno theme, and Juno has to do with committed partnerships, whether marital or business, and the way that that squares this moon. So engaging in a deliberate dreaming process about the partnerships that you have and the partnerships you'd like to have is a really good activity to be doing during this moon. Later in the month, we have the second moon, which is March 28th. And this is a full moon in Libra. And you'll see that the Sun and Chiron and Venus are all hanging out together in Aries, opposite that moon in Libra. And then Saturn is trining the moon and sextiling the Sun and Chiron in Aries. This one we're calling love and healing because, again, Venus is involved. So again, relationship themes. And then Chiron brings in those qualities of healing. And Saturn would seem to stabilize this with the help probably of friends. This particular moon covers your first house, seventh house axis. So chances of it making its way into your partnerships are pretty strong. And then drawing on a stable friend to help you work out any conflicts with your partner, a very likely scenario this month. So on March 20th, the season of Aries begins, which is really the beginning of the year in terms of, spring, the spring equinox. And that brings the spotlight to the first house for you, and very much the feeling of rebirth, refreshing, new beginnings, new energies, and a rise in those energies. So you'll be feeling excited to begin stuff. And it's a really good idea to begin stuff too, because as we've been saying for a couple of months now, since Mercury retrograde is over, March is once again good for starting those really big projects with as few obstacles as we can manage. Now, all of the outer planets are direct still. Pluto is going to go retrograde next month, and Saturn is going to go retrograde the month after that. So the obstacles are going to start to mount at that point. But at this point, it's still like sunny skies for projects that you would like to begin. And so it's a great time to act and use that Aries springtime energy. And here I want to leave you with that quote from the poet Goethe, which I'm sure you've heard it, but I'm going to say it now because now is like a really pertinent moment. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And so make some magic this spring. Well, that's all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do share this widely, like it, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Join our newsletter list too. We'd love to send you the news every month. And you can find your horoscope on our YouTube channel, organized into its own list with the other signs of the month, and also on our website, pandoraastrology.com. And you can see us for readings too, or even join a class. And until next month, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.